Then I'd be Superman. If I fly around the world, it wouldn't take me longer than it would
The battle between the Angolan giants of PETRO de Luanda and the masterclass of Morocco, Sally, are in contention. They finished 3rd and 6th respectively in the final seedings from the group stage. The clash is going to be massive. I need assistance, and I'm hoping NBA executive and BAL analyst Lance.
The final four here or the semi-final to get into the final.
Driving into the paint, trying to get his basket. Look at that. That is absolutely ridiculous. How did he do that? That was like an up and under, round the back. It was like sort of, you know, what happened there?
He sees stuff that the other people don't see. The double team was not a committed one. You see the big there stepping back. Joakim, you got to stay in there with that guy. Let me talk about numbers while he shoots free throws here. These guys meaning Stoglin and James, they shoot about 49% of the twos for this team. So that's half of the shots, and almost 70%, 67% of the threes for this team. As Mariah misses the three ball, you got to find Stoglin or a shot if you're going to be in a game against Saleh.
Hey, don't have a bad neck if you're going to watch this, because I tell you, it's end-to-end action already in the opening exchange.
cut the strings of my guitar, stomp your heels into my toes, steal the keys right out my car, and I'll find a way to forgive you. I fight 1,000 guys, live to die 1,000 lives. Oh, I find another way to make me smarter, just so I could understand.
That's what we want to see, and that's what we expect. Saleh, of course, a team who have come through as the Moroccan champions, but PETRO de Luanda, I mean, they've got...
Just so I could understand what you're looking for. Just so I could understand what it takes to be so
This coach, Coach Neto, he's an absolute masterclass Brazilian coach for the men's team and the women's team, of course. And we look at this guy coming through, and Dundao, youngest player in this.
live to die 1,000 lives. Oh, I find another way to make me smarter, just so I could understand. I'll find what you're looking for, lead you away, just so I could understand.
Squad, but absolutely lethal in attack. He's going to be a busy bee tonight, I think, with Stoglin on the court. And look at that, trying to go for a three-pointer, comes back off the ring.
Just so I could understand. Steal the keys right out my car, and I'll find a way to forgive you. Welcome home. If missing you made me stronger, then I'd be Superman if I fly around the world.
You talked about Neto. He's coached in Brazil, as you said, coached 2011 under-19 national team. As Dundao gets the fight.
1,000 lives. Oh, I find another way to make me smile.
And then he's also a workaholic in talking to their leadership. Mbunga told me they really did extensive work in vetting the process and bringing in Neto. He's got a lot of history under his belt in terms when it comes to basketball. And in fact, he's so much of a workaholic, we could only get a few words from him before he wanted to go back and prepare for this game with his ball club.
Yeah, I went for a stroll about 2 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. He was actually sort of with a board, just doing his like sort of, you know, notes outside of the hotel.
You're
no,
kidding.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're
but that's the
such a
kind
joker.
of... No, I'm not.
That's why your nose was growing when you were saying that.
Yeah,
That's all a Pinocchio.
I'm so sorry. That is a Pinocchio. But, you know, he's the kind of guy who actually does do that, I'm sure. This is fantastic for AS Salé, looking to try and get themselves some more points. They got a 3 already. It's just inside of the perimeter, but it doesn't come good there for El Massini. And a drive through, and that doesn't get down the hatch.
Well, there's multiple guys that can do multiple things for Petro, as Stoglin shows a little defense there and creates the turnover. None better, really, than that core group. Paolo, number 34, Moraes, who turned it over there, number 33. As you see Stoglin with the pressure, and then Cipriano, number 32. Those guys are the core, and then the younger guys fill in around them. And then on the other side, for AS Salé, Rashad, he'll get a lot of shots along with Stoglin. They take turns getting it done, Robbie, for this AS Salé team.
Oh, that's what it's all about, isn't it? The communication. That's a wonderful layup, isn't it? Nacha!
And that's Abdul Rahim. He's the big stabilizer along with Adam El Ghazi. And they will be the poles, if you will, for these two guards for AS Salé.
That is a beautiful effort. Under and up there, coming in for a few points, a couple of points there, of course, for the very dangerous and the very talented Gonçalves, Justin Gonçalves. Neto just on the side, on the sideline, just giving out instructions in the early moments of this encounter, as we see the big man Nacha just trying to turn, trying to get himself the over the top shot. And they get the ball back, Petro.
Well, this is good, I think, for AS Salé. As you see, the big-time drive and the finish there for Petro Gonçalves.
I think he can juggle with 4 balls. He can. He's just got those skills. You can see it.
Yeah, you got to be crafty, and Gerson certainly has that in his game as Dundao gets it and comes off of the big.
Well, he's unlucky not to... he's too quick for himself, isn't he, Dundao?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. Exactly. You got to move at maneuverable speed. And there he looked like he even blew a tire. He went so fast off of the screen.
I think he's got jet boosters in his trainers. I think incredible acceleration. Ball comes back out. El Ghazi.
Trainers, you have to update me on that. I need my Wikipedia to know what trainers are, man. You're using all these big words on me.
That's it. It's only an 8-letter word. Sneakers, sorry.
But you're talking about length. I'm talking about size. That's a big word that I don't know how to apply. I'm talking about girth, man, not length.
We are moving forward. It's 2 for Petro and it's 5 for AS Salé. And a nice little drive there by Gonçalves, but good defensive play. That's really good from Nacha. He's had a good storming start to this opening few minutes here in Kigali. Good defense, very important. Speaking with the coaches earlier, of course, and just picking their brains, we get that little privilege of, oh, it's a wild pass that's gone out, turnover ball, as you like to say, Lance.
Yeah, you like to say a wasted ball, so whatever it is, it goes the other way. AS Salé, missed opportunity as Stoglin holds a fist out to the left and the right. Looks like it's a screen either way as he inserts the offense to the bigs.
Now look at the players that they've got on. Johnny Pedro and Vander, of course, with the 41 on his back. Stoglin goes for 3, and there's your big 3-point effort there. Drained in a big way from the American.
Dangerous for Petro here. You do not want that guy to get hot. He's shown us that he can go off for 40, the first and only guy in the BAL to get 40 points. It took him quite a few shots to do it, but nonetheless, he can put it in the basket.
definitely can. Johnny PETRO just going around in the paint, looking for a little moment where he can just scoop that ball up and try and hit the target. Draws the foul, of course, as you can see. There's a lot of conversation between these guys. They're trying to understand each other. You know, you can see Johnny PETRO just talking with Moraes as we see the three-pointer just lifted and it just flew and it just soared and then it dropped.
Yeah,
get three.
Just really clean and confident this young man is right now.
Johnny PETRO at the free throw line. He's an absolute dream to watch. Picked up the MVP, of course, I think in the opening game, maybe 2 of the 3 games, if my memory serves me right, which it doesn't do half the time. But in any case, an absolute delight to the eye. Johnny PETRO really is a very impressive player, 31 years of age, and in his prime. He's already played for the Afro-Basket, I think, in the under-19s category.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why he's impressive. He plays so well without the ball. He's had a game here in this league where he had 17 rebounds, 10 of them on the offensive end. This guy here is dangerous without the ball. He moves, you got to put a body on him.
Here he
Great
is.
Ball player.
See, that is just what you expect there from that man Stocklin. He's a menace. This is a good opportunity. 2-on-1. Oh, Vander didn't go for the alley-oop. Still got the ball. The defenders come back. Not just there, trying to just prevent him from getting his pass in. And he's left frustrated. Here goes Stocklin at the other end.
A great defense there by Adam El Ghazi, getting a hand on that ball.
There's 2 players trying to get in his way, and there's a good opportunity. 2 against 1. Is he going to go all the way? No, he's going to off the boards and in. That is sumptuous play, and you can see that he didn't have a chance, El Ghazi, because he wasn't quick enough.
Yeah, and he did the right thing, I thought, letting him go. No need to commit a silly foul. They will need Adam in this game if they want to be able to compete against PETRO for the entirety of the ball game.
Oh, there it is. Just he crept over the side of the line there, which is not good. And I think that we've got a little timeout. 4:38. It's 6 points for PETRO de Luanda, and we've got 8 points for the Moroccans of AS Salé. We'll take a small little break. We'll be back for more fireworks very soon. We're back on. PETRO de Luanda 6, AS Salé 8, and I think it's quite tactical out there already, Lance. But we're going to also bring in Asha, who's going to tell us a little bit about what she expects from this little battle taking place here. Asha, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you well. PETRO de Luanda started very poorly there, but on offense, but they did well on defense to make sure that they're playing that zone very nicely. But also they've gotten Naja, the center of AS Salé, in foul trouble. 2 already, quick on the clock, and he's off the court. And now they'll have fun in the paint.
Yeah, thanks very much, Asha. It's a good point, and they've got to be careful. Oh, that is sumptuous stuff, isn't it? Get it in there, Jason Gonçalves. Oh, muito obrigado.
Well, that is disrespectful to slam on a man like that. That's a grown man. He just did that too.
He's going to be weeping, isn't he? It really is a tough deal, isn't it? Brilliant stuff from Gonçalves. You can see the PETRO de Luanda. Ryan Richards jumping out of his seat. Of course, they know that, they're in a good place. Look at that. It's the one-handed, just getting it away from the defender there with the left hand. Nice little pivot as well. Getting clear of the defender. In she goes.
Well, that's just called getting dunked on. There was nothing about that was pretty defensively. A great job attacking the rim and finishing emphatically. Those kind of plays, Robbie, can really turn up the heat, which is why I think we are seeing the timeout. And Coach El Bouzidi, he knows the momentum that can be created when you have big dunks like that. Teams get their confidence, start poking their chest out. Also, PETRO's doing a good job against Stocklin. They've adjusted. He often has 3 people around him. Once he gets the ball below the free throw line, doesn't look like they want to give him much easy at the rim because of how dangerous he is, Robbie.
Very, very dangerous, and you know, you've got to be really careful of when you Stoglin, what he's done for Ayesale. You know, it's not just him, but I know that, you know, he does stand out from the crowd, but the reason why they've actually got here is because they've worked around him and they've understood how he plays. You know, even if a player does get 40 points, you know, you can't just single him out as like the only player who's been great in a team. Ayesale have players who work really hard, and they'll come to the fore as well, and they'll be supporting him. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, lads, if actually Ayesale don't have Stoglin as their top scorer and top player today. It might be some of the other players, because they'll be tightly marking that danger man.
No question they'll have to keep an eye on him, but let's not forget about James. Can also get it done for this group.
It's a lovely tip in there from Vanda. Vanda finally gets his points on the scoreboard, of course. We've got a 5-point lead. Ayesale needs to hit back. Oh, it's a turnover and a steal. And you can see that that's fantastic play. Gonsalves ripping the ball out of the hands of that the player over there. I think it was, in fact, James, yes? You just can't make mistakes like that. That's just, you know, it's bad exposure.
You know, what that tells you is it's going to be a dogfight every single possession. Nothing easy for this Ayesale team.
Oh, that was nearly a fine three-pointer once again. And he'll want to get his range tonight, because I think that up against the big boys of PETRO LUANDA is going to be a little bit tricky at times.
Well, he averages over 30 points, averaging 31 points a game, so they know that's where Ayesale's bread is buttered.
Vanda, oh, there's another wrestling of the ball there with James, and that's really good perseverance. You've got to give him full credit there. Antoine Scott went for it, saw a little scrap, and tried to get his hands on it, and just look at that.
And Scott comes off the bench, and how good is he? I mean, a couple of games ago against FAP, he did a heck of a job from the floor and scored 23 points on 9 of 12 shooting. I mean, he was impressive, both from beyond the arc, where he was 4 for 7 and then 9 for 12 inside of it. Incredibly dangerous player all over the floor.
Oh, look at that. And that's where the big guys come to the fore, isn't it? Johnny Pedro, if it's not Pedro, then it's Vanda as well. Very keen to get themselves underneath the basket and get the rebound. And there's another battle here, and there's a 2-on-1. It's surely going to be in. Oh, he comes back and I think commits the foul. And that will be a pair of free shots, of course, because it was Korechi who's just come off the bench, making the block. Making the block illegally.
Yeah, that was a foul. It wasn't a bad foul. It might have been a good block, but I think it looked so violent, there was no way that a call wasn't going to be made there.
It's because he lost possession in the first place. You want to hit back, you've got a point to prove, of course, and you're under the watch of your coach, who's obviously going to be mildly perturbed by that steal.
Yeah, and I want to talk about a play a moment ago about Pedro, the catch for the rebound and the putback. I mean, he's very dangerous, Robbie, around the basket. He against AS Police, again, he had the 17 boards, 10 of them. That's 10 of them. I'm not exaggerating with that. We're on the offensive end of the floor, and that's because he moves so much and gets himself free. So you've got to put a body on him, because he can single-handedly destroy you on that end of the floor if you don't get him around the boards. He loves to rebound the basketball.
He can single-handedly destroy you.
That's right. He's a little better than the Green Hornet, buddy. And that's a reference to last game. Robbie's hero, the Green Hornet.
Oh, come on. Let it go. Here we go. Korechi going in a drive. He has a second chance there. The attempted tip in there, coming to nothing from Jefferson. And at the other end, you got a 2 points there scored. Look at that from Carlos Moraes.
Well, that has to start with the poor rebound by John Dre. Jefferson, he's got to corral that ball and go up a little stronger, playing against a tough team like Pedro.
There's a good three-point attempt there, just coming off the metal, and it's been stolen once again. Johnny Pedro with the rebound master of this PETRO LUANDA team, the Angolan Giants, as they move forward. Moraes once again. Can Moraes raise the roof? Oh, he does it again! That's just absurd, lads!
Yes, it is, and that's because Zachariah got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, watching like you and I. And Moraes made him pay dearly for another dot in the eye.
He's going to be a poor man if he's going to pay that much over the course of the game, unless he's going to turn things around, which I'm guaranteed that he probably will.
Yeah, well, he is. What'd you say this saloon was last game? What saloon are we in?
Oh, the last chance saloon.
That's right. That's his last chance. Might not get many more of those. He'll be sitting on the bench. You don't want to give that man Moraes those kind of looks where he can just square right up to the basket at the elbow. You've got to stay connected to him in a half-court situation.
Bench situation. Ryan Richards comes off, comes onto the court, of course. You can see there's a couple of changes here. And with Johnny Pedro, Ryan Richards, the big guys, and of course, the danger man.
This is arguably the deepest team in the BAL playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, they can go really deep.
Yeah, something we talked about with Coach Neto just before the start of the game, of course, and he knows that he can rotate. And that was something that the coach for ASL also said. He said, sort of, you know, we need to be able to rotate around Stoglin, because if we don't, then they will take advantage, and they need to bring on different players and freshen it up, but at the same time, keep check on the very dangerous bench. So it really is a game of chess out here tonight.
Yeah, basically what he's saying is we need other people to step up. Sometimes it's Adam who isn't on the floor right now. Sofian, Jandre, somebody has to, you're seeing, somebody's got to step up and get buckets.
As it's a three-pointer there from El Masbai. A beautiful effort there just down that right side, pouring in for three and making it an 8-point game. Very well. That was very needed at that point.
Yeah, earlier in league play, Zachariah had an injury. He got himself well in his comeback. They will need his shooting to keep the floor open for Stoglin and James.
Good Johnny Pedro gets the ball out to Richards. Richards being marked very tightly by Jefferson. He flung his arm up in the air, and I'm afraid you can't do that. And of course, Jefferson just will accept that every day of the week.
Yeah, and Jefferson has a little reach. You see the reach there, and then Richardson got caught retaliating, if you will, trying to create a little space. I thought that was a little too violent in the way he swung back, if you will.
What have you got?
Did not get that call.
If you go down into the midnight zone in the oceans, you've got these like sort of long tentacled octopi, of course, and they got the same kind of reach as Jefferson, big time.
Oh, well, now you're talking about my guy, Submariner. If you want to go marble, if you want to go into the waters,
We can do that.
I like that.
There you go. Stoglin out wide. There's a chance for three, but it's just come to nothing there. Massini once again trying to just recuperate a few points to eat into that lead. Petro in command. We got a timeout, I believe, and we'll... Sorry, timeout. I can't even look at the clock because I'm just so excited about what's going on here. PETRO LUANDA leading by 8 away. It fell in. Oh, my word. Back for the second quarter. We got 20 points to 12. And before we get back to the action, lads, let's just ask Asha what she thinks about this ASL battle that they're facing so far. Asha.
Well, they'll need to have a lot of contribution from Jefferson on both defense and offense, and so far he's doing a good job defending Ryan Richards in the paint.
Well, Ryan Richards is a bit of a handful, isn't he? He's been a complicated player, but you know, throughout he's one of those awkward players to defend. But Jefferson will need to come to the fore and do his business, like you said, Asha. Thanks very much for that. He's got his, he's met his match, hasn't he?
No question he's met his match. And speaking of meeting your match, let's not forget, Robbie, these two teams met before, and Petro won that outing 97-78, but they had a similar point differential in the first quarter. 8 this game, 7 the first game. This was the quarter, though, that AS Saleh got it going, and they ended up having only, they being Petro, only a 2-point lead going into the half.
It just goes to show it's a tight tussle, isn't it? But AS Saleh can't allow Petro to just run away and control this. Gonsalves gets the ball back. We've got a couple of changes. You can see that Paolo, look at that, look at that. Where did that come from?
Well, that's just a young fella, like you're seeing, giving too much space to a guy that can be pretty much a sniper at times. You got to crowd him and force him to put the ball on the floor.
Hey, that's really good work from Richards. This is an easy one for Paolo! And the Angolan fans players are literally dancing in their boots. They're just jiving, they're moving, they're grooving. They're having an absolute party here because 25-12 with 8:40 left in half. That's a lot of time and a lot of points.
Well, ASL, they better phone home and get some help really quick, because right now they're struggling to get anything on the offensive end, and they can't get a stop. As we talked about earlier, defense is important if you're going to beat or be in a game against Petro. They have so many guys. That's from long range, parking lot level.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, that was a remarkable distance show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a heat check by Stoglin. I haven't gotten a shot in a while, so you know what? I'm just going to take it. They get fortunate. Ryan Richards commits the foul under the basket, so it'll be Ayasale who brings it in underneath.
Beautiful three-pointer there that you saw on the replay. And Ayasale need to get some points on the score, but their defense is just incredible at the moment, Petro, because they are just not letting anything go through. It's there's a lot of traffic there in the paint, but Ayasale finding it really complicated.
Well, it is complicated, but these kind of situations where you keep getting fouls called can help you stop momentum. All you need is a couple of more stops and potentially a basket on this end, and you get an opportunity to shift the momentum back into your favor. Ayasale does.
They win the ball back, and they've got their hands on it with Cipriano, of course. 39 years of age. Not only slim man, of course, one of the, he is the oldest. Oh, how about that? One fantastic three-pointer there coming from James on the right-hand side. They needed that. They planted some trees.
Boy, that's the other scoring mate to Stoglin. Those two, everything happens through them offensively. They're the anchors, and you don't want to want either one of them to get it going on the offensive end, Robbie.
No, absolutely. Here he is working really, really hard. That is just persistence. I've never seen it from Paolo. A very experienced player who's been with Petro for such a long time, like a lot of these players, of course. James has got the ball just on the edge of the perimeter, wants to get it back to one of his players. The shot clock is going down. He's finding it really complicated to get a decent pass, and goes for the shot, misses the target, picked up comfortably by Petro.
Well, he was crowded by Paolo. He thought maybe he should get a foul. If those two are guarding each other, it's a little bit of a mismatch. People will go at James because of the size differential.
I think is that Richards going into the Ayasale player. I think that's...
Yeah, so Van, he got hit. He's asking for a sub as he limps off of the court.
How about that for a bucket?
At multiple positions, Robbie, Petro has the size difference. That's why you're seeing these isolation situations. They're just trying to
say that 5 times in a row.
Isolation situations, time 3, man. Come on, man, I'm trying to make a buck here and do the right thing, and you trying to put me on blast. I can speak English. It doesn't come from my country, but we can speak it, buddy. You're the best.
You've just been done with the Green Hornet.
Yeah, the Green Hornet is going at the Silver Surfer.
Madness.
Got a fight here in the booth.
Some madness that we turned out in the previous match that we've moved on from, but we might reference it once or twice throughout this game. Back to the business. Let's talk about Antoine Scott, very important player. Here he goes, finding a little bit of space, and there's Richards. But there's an offensive. What did the referee?
I don't know if it was a 3-second or what was the call.
Yeah, maybe he's in the paint for too long.
I don't know. Whatever it was.
Yeah,
3 seconds. It was 3 seconds.
Yeah,
okay, we were blocked out, but we figured it out. Some, what is it, tectonics you call it?
Oh,
when you get together and work together?
The plate tectonics.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to happen.
So now you have the scores off the ball. You've seen who has the ball, takes a little pressure off these guys where they can come into the offense from the wing and try to create scoring opportunity.
Oh, that was nearly a fantastic score there from Stoglin. Got rid of Scott in a very big way. Had a little bit of a slip as well.
Oh, you're seeing he's got to make that. That was an easy finish with all those big bodies around him.
Cipriano to, oh, that is, I mean, that is just incredible. They've got an average, they've got a combined age of about 78.
Yeah, but that's a mismatch. I mean, when you talk about the size difference there, Paolo against James down there is just...
That's another three-pointer. That is fantastic. Just on the edge of the perimeter, I think 27-18. Hey, Sally's starting to find their range now, Lance.
Yeah, but it's really about little guys versus big guys right now. Here you see a potential post-up again. That's a big guy on a little... guy, no help, bucket right there. They're going to have to make adjustments, ASali. Otherwise, Petro is going to keep beating the post. They're going to... go to it and feed the monster all night long unless some adjustments are made.
Cookie monster. You got to be careful. Got to be very careful. And here they go. We're just trying to find a little bit of space. Gets the ball back out. It's good work around the perimeter. And that, just rattling and coming back out there from El Masba. It comes back out, and you can see that they're on a mission, aren't they? In a big way. Scott gets the ball out wide. It's been picked up by Gonçalves. Oh, that's a sumptuous layup there. And once again, Petro. A great place. Petro, it's all up to Sally to try and get themselves back into this game, and I think a few wise words from their coach will help them out.
Well, a town is being built right before our eyes, and it's called Mismatch City, and they are moving the ball and putting it wherever the mismatch is, whether it's on the perimeter, whether it's throwing it inside, and there are really no adjustments for it. I don't think Robbie unfold.
Well, it takes three to tango, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And it also takes after Raheem to get back in the game. One, his energy, but two, that sharing and caring. Everything he's doing is demonstrative, meaning he is aggressive. He's going hard to the basket. He is sharing the ball, and that demonstration that he's doing is what is creating a great synergy and allowing ASali to get back into or stay in this game and put them in a position to potentially take the lead, Robbie.
So you've just paraded with a whole list of wonderful words that have just rolled off. That it's fantastic. It's it's like a flower show of words.
Well, I'll take that as a big compliment coming from a wordsmith like yourself.
Here we go with Paolo out wide. The chances are Cipriano, of course, coming on. He's great at three-pointers. We saw him in the last game. Gets the ball to Paolo. Paolo with a layup for two. And we have, well, they're back to 3 points. But there's nothing in this now. Nothing at all. It's all about a game of tactics. And you can see that the big players will have to play their role now.
Yeah, and that was tactical there because he attacked the feet of the big. Paolo did after Raheem. And they're going to go right back at them with them knocking down the shot. If you're not going to guard me when I'm hot, when I'm demonstrative, when I'm getting stuff done, I'm going to knock the shot down and stay right in this game. That's the message that after Raheem is given to Petro.
That's a really good run, but that's not a good pass at all. It's been picked up. There's a couple of players up here. There's a chance for two. Oh, my word. They've taken the lead. 1:20 to go, and they've moved a point ahead. This is absolutely absurd. We love it. This is basketball. This is the Basketball Africa League. And here in Kigali, we are just humming and buzzing like it's going out of fashion. Lance, look at this.
Well, Zachariah is upset. A technical is called. But guess what, Robbie? We have a sighting. We have a sighting. James just scored. That means he's back in the game. That is a guy that they need because he can go to the seaside, as you call it, and get buckets. There you go, my man. He can get buckets. And now you got multiple guys for ASali that can get buckets. That relieves Stoglin of a lot of pressure that they will need from him as we go into the next period. This is big time. The intensity, the pressure on either side can be felt on this side of the court as we take this short break.
Which we're not going to take a short break. We're going to see Usher. We're going to talk to Usher now.
Well, I'm not talking about that break. I'm talking about the one with the two coaches talking to one another.
Oh, yeah, that's a break.
Yeah, that break.
That's a break, yes.
That's a break. But Usher, yeah, she's got to tell us what's going on. She's the glue to this whole thing, Robbie.
Give us some normality, please, Asha.
Well, obviously, it's very good to see Rashad James finally find his feet in this game, because for a player who averages 20 points, 6 points so far in this tournament, having 5 at this point in the game, definitely AS Saleh must be saying, hey, Rashad James, you gotta step up, you have to give us something. And now they have the confidence and anything can happen. But also very good to see the captain Zakaria El Masbahi playing the way that he is. That injury earlier on in the second game is no longer a problem at the moment, and they're feeding off that energy so far.
No, you've got to, I mean, you've just hit the nail on the head, I think, Asha. You know, that the big players are starting to come to the fore, the importance of having leaders out there, understanding when they need to come in and just hit the high note, and that's exactly what they're doing. And this is going to go right down to the wire, as we see. Once again, they pick up possession. They are absolutely on fire now. You can see that they're motivated. The bench are just jumping out of their seats. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yes, and Pedro, he pushed almost a fin who exploited that. But guess what? Dundao is back on the floor. He's the smallest player in the league, basically, or especially of the teams that are left. Does AS Saleh try to exploit that? As Zakaria gets it with the small fella trying to stay in front of him. They're going to exploit it.
Ooh, that was close, wasn't it?
Yes,
Very
it
close.
was. They went right at the little fella. At that size, I don't blame him. I would make him earn his keep on the floor.
He's only spent just over 5 minutes on the court today. Quite surprised. I think he's extraordinary. I just think he's got so much zip about him. And when you see him do stuff like that, all right, the ball's been lost, but
Get
crazy.
upset is what happens.
Yeah. Here he is, Stoglin, comes back off the ring. They got a chance, and Pedro can't pick the ball up, and it's been picked up by James. James is now taking center stage and saying, I want to perform, but I can't nail that three-pointer. And the rebound's been taken by Petro. This is insane. Last few seconds of the third.
Surprised he took that shot. He should have let the clock run. Game tied. He could have got the last shot.
Bragging rights going into the final quarter. Oh, it's a steal, and there you go. It's a force shot underneath the basket, but we're level. We are level. This is ridiculously entertaining.
Well, this was a play that a technical was called simply because they thought a foul should have been called with James going to finish. You could see it in the eyes. One of the officials had to get Zakaria off of his fellow official. As you like to say, Robbie, we're level. We're all tied up with 1 period to play.
It's mental. We are back for some big business. This is the last quarter of this enthralling battle between PETRO de Luanda of Angola and AS Saleh of Morocco. Stoglin trying to go for a pair of points. He gets fouled, and the Moroccan side will now have a pair of shots on the free throw line. Just telling you exactly where we're at. AS Saleh at one point were trailing by 12, I think, 13 maybe. Now they're about to go ahead as we chase the final buzzer, and we just don't know where it's going to go.
No, we don't. I know whose hands it'll be in a lot. That young man's right there, Stoglin. And there's no question in my mind, Robbie, that if AS Saleh can get to the basket frequently, they will get calls because of the call that wasn't made against Rashad James here earlier or late in the third period. I think the way that the AS Saleh team acted as Stoglin misses the free throw will encourage the officials to protect AS Saleh when they go to the rim.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. Paolo just entering the paint. The ball comes back out. It's Cipriano out wide there for Moraes. Moraes for three. Misses his attempt, Paolo. Loads of space and time. Doesn't go for the three-pointer. Comes back to Cipriano. He landed a few in the last game, but that wasn't really his best ever three-point effort ever I've seen.
No, it looks like AS Saleh is back in a little bit of a zone there, or a lot of bit of a zone, I should say, and they are encouraging the three ball from PETRO, as they are 5 for 17 now from that distance.
This is so exciting, and you can feel the tension on the benches as well. It's just fever pitch. It's gotten to the point where it's electrifyingly exciting. Here's Dundao with the layup attempt, comes to nothing. Back off the boards, picked up by James. James gets his Stoglin. Stoglin with a beautiful hanging layup. The hands waving to the fans at the same time as he just dropped the ball up.
Yeah, that was a floating layup. It was half layup, half floater, because he teardropped it over the big fella. I'm Stoglin. I go to the basket every single time until they stop me.
Richards, Paolo, Moraes now. Tightly marked, isn't he? And that defense, I'm afraid, is a little bit too aggressive. And that'll be a second straight personal for him.
I think this game doesn't matter. Look at that, and his defense there. That, Robbie, is a 42-year-old man out there running around and staying in front of people.
Brilliant. It's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And how about the aggression here? Look at Abdurrahim.
Ryan Richards. Oh, that's a stunning effort. That is dropped it in beautifully, but more importantly, held off the defensive challenge from the big man.
Well, we are in Africa. That was dream-ish. Not dream quite, but dream-ish, as in Hakeem Olajuwon. As Paolo and Stoglin tie it up, the ball will stay here, pal.
They're bound for marriage, aren't they? Look at that. It's just like, they're just not letting go of that ball. The man with the green and white stripes has to come over and just wrestle it out of their hands.
Yeah, I think that is a great example of what we're going to be looking at as they switch balls because of all the sweat. Switch balls and get a fresh one. 13 to go. Every possession mattering, Robbie.
8:14 on the clock. And this is so close, isn't it? It's so exciting. The fans are going wild behind us here. We've got a little smaller contingent of Angolan fans, of course, who are here. Oh, no. Kind of a blind pass there from Naja. And you can see the frustration. They've gone, oh, no, Kordu, what are you doing?
Yeah, but you know what? Abdurrahim, he's part of the reason that they're back in this game. If you're going to make a mistake, make it an aggressive one. And that's just what he did. He was trying to get it to his teammate Safian for a better shot. Look at him use his feet with the big fella down low. Richards, they can't get it to him. Abdurrahim didn't get the steal, but he helped create it with his energy on the defensive end of the floor.
This is just electrifyingly close, isn't it? The battles, the challenges. And, you know, it's tiring at this time of the game.
It is, and my eyes are absolutely stuck. You got to help me call this game, buddy. My eyes are stuck on Abdurahim because of the level of energy that he is putting forth on every single possession, regardless of the end of the floor.
It's mesmerizing. Here's Stoglin for three. It's just come off the metal. At 57-58, it's the Moroccans who are ahead. Here's Dundao just out wide. He's got a couple of options. Gets it back out to Moraes. Oh, that's not a good pass out to the three-point shooter out wide. And a little slip up. Not good, not healthy, an opportunity missed.
And not a great decision, I don't think, by the young fella. Dundao had a shot. He was wide open. No one was around him. He never really, he saw the corner out of Moraes in the corner, out of the corner of his eye, in the corner. Say that 3 times fast. But he also was wide open. And so if you're that close to the basket, the young fella, I thought, should have taken a shot. Going back to Abdurahim, who they can't necessarily get it to. They got it to him in the middle of the floor, at the top of the key, and a turnover again. Give it right back, Robbie.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, it's very, very physical, and you know, you can't even close your eyes for an absolute second, because that's what kind of play occurs directly afterwards. A fantastic score there from Paolo, the 35-year-old, showing the youngsters how to do it. They take the ball up court once again. It's a one-point game still, but it's PETRO who just shoved themselves into the lead as they try and keep possession. The passing has been pretty poor in the last couple of minutes. There's a panic attack happening on the side of the court, but also on the court. Attempted layup taken well by Naja.
And they really really need James to step up here, especially with Stoglin not being on the floor. They don't have their primary offensive anchor, so they got to get good shots. Shots like that. Oh, freaking Abdurrahim finishes. He is the man of the hour. He's playing his best version of Stoglin as a big as he takes the hit and the finish.
Flying through the paint there. That was exceptional stuff. Look at the bench. They are absolutely jumping with joy, and you can understand why. It's an eruption. It is of excitement and happiness.
Yeah, Cipriano, as a veteran and core player, he has to make sure he doesn't get that ball above the shoulders on that foul and gives up the traditional and one.
Here we have Cipriano there in possession, down to Richards here. Watch out for the big battle between those two. Down there, of course, with Naja. Abdurrahim.
Boy, these are huge minutes, Robbie, because you're allowing Stoglin to get a rest, and you're also getting buckets and possibly have a chance. You do have a chance to extend the lead. The possibility is if they can get it to the right man to put it in the basket with 7 seconds to go on the shot clock. This is also a key and trusting substitution in my mind, Robbie, because Abdurrahim has been the man of the moment. He goes for a rest as they go to Adam El Ghazi underneath the basket.
El Ghazi's just as good. They're like identical twins, you know. They're exactly the same. He'll do pretty well. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm not too sure about that, Robbie. Okay. No, but physically they are.
Yeah,
of course, the skill set is a little bit different.
There is some interchangeability between these two, but tonight has been Abdurrahim's night. El Ghazi has had a poor outing in terms of getting into the rhythm of the game, getting foul calls, etc. But you're right, in terms of size, there's a lot of similarity. Let's see if PETRO feels the same way. And if they go back to Richards as Adam tries to guard him down in the post.
When you've got to think about Johnny PETRO, you know, being a player with the X factor who's just showed exactly what kind of basketball he can play as Richards gets shoved off his feet, and that's going to be a foul going against that man El Masbahi.
Yeah, and there's Adam, and different result. When you put Abdurrahim on the bench, and they brought Sofian to double him, but Adam has to protect the baseline. He's very frustrated, thinks he was hooked there, but he's got to protect that baseline, so it's not even a question. He's chomping at the bit right now with Richards. This could end up in a technical and/or another foul if things don't settle down sooner than later, Robbie.
He's the only player with 4 fouls on the court or here in the Kigali Arena for the time being. It's going to the wire, 5:32. You can see there's a 2-point difference. There's Richards there. This is another little matchup which we will appreciate and understand, of course, because there's no love lost between those two players in the middle. Richards with Adam El Ghazi. Look at that. That's how to shoot. The 3-pointer drained big time from the left side there. And now it's a 62-61 PETRO move ahead.
Well, you've got to find Gerson. That's what he's on the floor for. He is a sniper. I talked about it early in the game. That's what sniping is. It's not only making threes, it's making them at a timely moment. That's what makes you a sniper. You do it at times when you don't want it to happen. That's how they look at him, and it's like a dagger in the heart. But as you know, A.S. Saleh has responded all night long as their guy, Stoglin, gets back on the floor.
And I suppose we've got to call this the key moment now. As you can see, that there's a big little battle taking place, and he gets the better of Richards there, El Ghazi. Adam El Ghazi doing the business there, as we saw Paolo, 4th foul, and off onto the bench, picked up here down the right-hand side. Antoine Scott, the American, back on and finds a little space to go for a drive. Little floater there, the follow-up, and the rebound. In she goes. Johnny PETRO doing the business. 62-63. Sorry, 64-63. This is just insane. James unable to nail that. A little bit of disappointment there by Sally. And we continue to go from one side of the court to the other in a very, very entertaining entertaining battle between these two giants of African basketball.
Well, there's another mismatch.
PETRO! PETRO! What are you doing?
Well,
Miraculous!
that city we were talking about, they identified a mismatch. The much smaller Stoglin had him, and guess what? Right over the top of the rim after going under it. When you see a little fella on a big fella, you gotta get help. Help! Help! PETRO up 66-63 late in the fourth.
It's a familiar face there in the stands, Lance.
Yeah, the true friend, and he's done an amazing job, Masai Ujiri. He's a big part of building this and helping Amadou Gallo Paul and what he's created. They're very close friends.
Brilliant stuff. Now, this is getting very tight, isn't it? Nail-biting stuff, basically, with 4 minutes to go. We're going to get a quick reaction from Usher as soon as goes in, if it does go in. I don't believe it goes in! This is just insane! How did he do it? Antoine Scott, that wasn't downtown, that was not in the parking, that wasn't in the gardens, that was literally on the other side of the border. How about that? Big time. Usher, just give us your thoughts.
Well, when you look at the final minutes of this game, AS Saleh making careless mistakes with those turnovers. They're not having a good shot selection 4 times in a row, and it's going to affect them eventually.
Yeah, there's not much time left as the last 69-63. PETRO de Luanda came in as favourites. AS Saleh showing their Angolan opponents they are not going to get bullied. And there's Richards! Look at that! The eyes of a demonic man who's just done something pretty amazing.
This is disrespectful to take it and dunk on a man like that and then look at him and scream, look at that eyes. No respect for your opponent as the big fella, Richards, puts it down with the left hand and extends the lead 71-63 as AS Saleh tries to figure out the panacea to get back in this game.
It's just absolutely mad, isn't it? Everything, the ingredients of this, I don't think anybody could have conjured up, thought that it was going to come to this. Look at that, 16, 8 points, of course, 50-50, 43% for field goal attempts, of course, success with the shot, 71-63. This is going to go to the wire. This is absolutely mad. And AS Saleh are finding themselves a little bit behind now. That's going to be complicated for them because possession by possession, of course, you want to use the clock. Game management is going to be essential. PETRO de Luanda know how to do that.
Yeah, they do because they have the personnel. But on the other side, you've got Stoglin. Anytime you've got him, you got a chance because he can get a numerous amount of buckets in a short period. There you got a big on a small on a big, and the other big after Raheem is just too late and comes over and really gets a smash sandwich right in the face. Is that Gene Simmons right there? Actually, for Kiss the Rock Band with the tongue going all the way out, Robbie.
It's like a New Zealand hacker.
Yeah.
Here we go then, pushing forward. El Ghazi getting the ball out. AS Saleh, time's running out. Few seconds to go. And Usher, just tell us more. They're back in it. They got 2 points. Can they do it, AS Saleh?
AS Saleh have a chance in this one. It will depend on how they play defense. But I was listening into the coach of PETRO de Luanda, and he was telling his players they must win this game. They need to do everything to make sure that they come clean and get that W tonight.
They're in a pretty good position so far, Usher. So a 6-point lead, but it's one of those games where the last couple of minutes just stretches out and becomes such a long period of time because we're going to have timeouts there. And how many timeouts have we got left each?
Well, either way, these teams, what they're doing, namely PETRO, they're looking for mismatches. We talked about that city in the first half that they were building, mismatch city, and that's what happened there, which is why Adam fouled out of the game. trying to guard a smaller player in Gerson, and he went right at the feet and got the foul. But it goes both ways, Robbie. On this side, meaning when Ayasali has the ball, they too are trying to exploit mismatches with bigger guys getting on smaller guys. It's going to come down to who can play a better chess match and who has the patience as we come down the stretch in this fourth period.
Antoine Scott just slipping off his feet. This is not drafts, it's chess. And Stoglin tries to get the pass to his teammate there, unable to pick it up, Cordu. And you can see when the ball goes out, the clock stops, and that just gives them that opportunity to just rejig, regroup, and get themselves those points that they need. So they'll get the ball on the sidelines here, and they'll try and work their magic, find those right positions, and pick away, get those points. Still a chance for Ayasali, but they're under pressure here.
And this guy James too, they like to get him in the act as the double team comes.
There he is. And getting the ball into the paint. There's the attempted layup, and that's dangerous. They've lost the ball. The rebound tidied up in a big way. Coming out wide to Moraes. Moraes taking the ball into the enemy's court. We've got 2 minutes to go. And it might be an uphill struggle, of course, but you just never know. You just never know. As you said, Stoglin's on the court, so he's capable of producing that X-factor performance to see them get those points to get the win. That's a lovely little tip-in. That is just sensational. And the delicate touch, of course, coming from Petro, but wonderful work out on the right by Gonçalves.
Incredibly soft, and they keep double-teaming James and getting the ball out of his hands. And here you'll see Stoglin, who throws it in to Abdurrahim. He gets it, pump fakes, and then the travel is called as he yells at the official. Now, look at the tip. That was an absolutely beautiful play. No surprise there. He's got his double-double. Pedro, they're bigger at every single position right now on the floor, maybe except for Sofian.
Here we go with switch. Petro de Luanda down the left-hand side, trying to get rid of the big man. The ball comes back out. There's Moraes. Moraes with a three-pointer. Down she goes, and that's a 13-point lead as Stoglin comes up and scores the layup for two. And they'll get the ball back, and they'll start to move. But, of course, it's going to be a man-to-man marking to a certain extent, of course, for the last run-in. We're into the final minutes, and it's a foregone conclusion. I think now we can definitely say that Petro de Luanda are not going to get shoved off this court now as we approach the final buzzer.
Yeah, it would take a miracle as Ayasali applies the pressure. Oh, they release the pressure, which is a little bit of a surprise. I don't know if it makes sense to play that soft at this point.
I think that they know, though, don't they? It's just too complicated. So this is just a question of playing there.
Well, they got the turnover.
Yeah, they have. But 41 seconds. And there's coach from Ayasali not still trying to give advice to his players. Stoglin goes up for another pair of points. Comes back up the ring, he draws the foul.
Stoglin, he's just so good, particularly when he's going to that left side. Might be too little, too late, too much size out there for Ayasali to have to overcome.
They just haven't managed to, to break down that city that they've that Petro have created. The foundation was too strong.
Yeah.
The moment that they started to go into the second half, they started to build it, but they used the right ingredients. They had the right materials and the right tools to just really create something special, because they are a special team, Petro de Luanda, and they know how to play big games. And despite the fact that this man here, Stoglin, has been chucking in the points, of course, as he gets past the 30-point bracket, I think. It's already a great tally, but it's just not enough. And you said it, and you called it, Lance, a couple of times. You need to be surrounded by a couple of players who can come in and replace him when he's getting his breath back, and just stop, the defence from getting battered. And I think that's probably what happened a little bit too often when he went off court.
Yeah, they bring in Zachariah. Stoglin takes a break. That tells me, they're going offense, defense right now, so ASali has not conceded yet. And they're going to try to close this lead. I mean, this to me just shows how passionate and how committed all of these teams and coaches and players are to winning, regardless of what the score is, regardless of what the clock says. They're playing every game all the way to the finish line.
The Angolan fans jumping with joy. They're very happy, of course. They got some of the best travelling fans in Africa. Love their basketball, of course. They just enjoyed National Basketball Day on the 18th of May. 90 years since the first ever tip-off, and it's a foregone conclusion, of course, as we enter the final 20 seconds. We've got a 10-point lead for PETRO de Luanda. The Coach Neto is going to be very, very happy, because he said, we're not going to lose. We're not going to lose. We're going to win. We're going to win, and we're going to play every game as if it's a final. He's just showed that they are capable of clambering back. They're capable of pushing, and they're doing a really good job. They trailed by 13 at one point. Remember Ayesale? They came back, but PETRO de Luanda just showed great strength from within, and the beast came back out once again, and here they are in control of their situation and very much in the driving seat of this machine.
Well, yeah, Coach Neto talked about, as Mariah, you see the big three there. But how about this? Ayesale's not going away easy. With 20 seconds to go in this game, Robbie, they are committed to seeing if there's some kind of way they can find a miracle and eat their way back into this game as Stoglin comes back on the court. Their best player, he sits at 30 points. Just a valiant effort tonight against a very good PETRO team. When it's all said and done, no matter what happens with the final of this game, Robbie, you have to look at James not as it being necessarily his fault, but him not being able to get in this scoring act.
Yeah, not stepping it up. You've got to step it up. That's a fine score indeed, isn't it? Coming in from Abdelhaim Najar, of course, the Ayesale player, 79-72. Last play of the game, potentially. Trying to keep the ball in play. Najar picks it up, gets it out to the big man there, Kordu, and an attempt. Oh, he's just... seems to be okay, but there's the foul, of course, and not much time left on the clock, as you can see.
No, not much time at all. 7-point lead, 79-72. PETRO over Ayesale with 1.1 to go, and they're going to play it to the end.
There it is, there it is. Nice little moment there with Carlos Moraes, of course, and a hug with Stoglin. But it is PETRO de Luanda. They've just showed me, and I'm sure you're the same, Lance, that they've got the true grit, they've got the capacity to play big games, to see teams clamber back, fight their way back into their living room, but they just chuck them out when it matters, and they get themselves, their own bit of space, and then they're clear, and then they take the victory and they move on. It was a very strong performance there from PETRO de Luanda. All credit to Ayesale, because they didn't stop. They kept fighting, they managed to get back, and they moved ahead. But at the end of the day, we do have the worthy winners of this battle. PETRO de Luanda qualify for the Final Four.
Well, yeah, they get all the credit for what they did tonight. They took their best shot from Ayesale that Ayesale could give, and when the game was in the balance, PETRO de Luanda just stepped up and kept the pressure on both ends of the floor and made the critical plays and the critical moments to get them this victory. So they move on now out of the quarters into the semis. And I think we got one side figured out after a great game, Robbie.
No, really, really incredible. And of course, they'll take on Zamalek in the semi-finals of the Final Four. Oh, and that battle is going to be massive. We'll get Carlos Moraes at one point, possibly. We'll and have a little chat with him, but maybe the players are just racing off. He's going to come over. He's on his way. But no, a brilliant performance there from PETRO LUANDA. They got themselves into the right place, and they managed to just go ahead. Big plays at big moments of the game. Okay, and I do believe we got Carlos Moraes, who is the MVP. Carlos, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Carlos, first of all, congratulations. We always knew that PETRO LUANDA are a fantastic team with a great history. You weren't given an easy deal against AS Salé of Morocco out there tonight. Just tell me how you felt and how it was, you know, when you were playing, you know, cat and mouse in that second half.
Man, first of all, let me tell you, it's awesome to be here with you guys finally. I finally played a good game. My teammates always believed in me, and I think it was a great game for all of us. Salé is a great team. We knew that today was going to be a battle. I'm just happy we won the game, and it was a totally team win.
Listen, Carlos, on a personal note, I think that, you know, like you said, you played a great game tonight. We know what you're capable of doing. We've seen some of the more experienced guys, you know, checking in the 3 points. But now you came to your 4. Your role in this team was so important tonight. Now you come across, you'll play Zamalek in the semi-finals. Tell me what your thoughts about that.
It's going to be another battle. Zamalek is a great team. We lost to them this season already in scrimmage games. So we know it's going to be a battle. We're going to be ready for them. Tonight we're going to enjoy this win, and tomorrow we're going to prepare the game against them. And on to the next one.
Carlos, Lance Blanks here, man. Congratulations. What a wonderful performance, not only by you, but your teammates as well. Was it part of the plan to shut down James, or do you think he just had a bad day? Because you guys obviously play great defense, but he really struggled. He was 2 for 10 from inside the arc, 1 for 4 from outside, and I know he's a key to that ball club. Can you tell me about your thoughts on how you all defended him?
Our game plan for tonight was to shut down James and stop him. They both great players, and everything they do is just, I mean, it's been outstanding. We saw Stogling scoring 40 points, I think, and we knew we had to stop them. And I think tonight we did a great job doing it.
Okay, so my partner here, he calls them the older guys. I call them the core, and you know who they are, your teammates. What is it? Is it something in the water that keeps you guys at your conditioning level, at your level of focus, and just being in shape and ready to play and win games? Because it's so impressive to see you guys stretch over so many decades and impact winning basketball.
I mean, I think it's the passion for the game, first of all, and then we just take care of our bodies. I mean, we vets, we're not old, and we believe that we have a lot more to show to these young guys. So every day for us is a new challenge. Every day is a new opportunity for us to do what we do. And I think we're doing a great job. We just gotta keep, taking care of our body. And I think we have a lot of more years to do what we do.
Carlos, you guys are an inspiration, and we applaud what you've done tonight, and we applaud PETRO LUANDA and the way that you game managed. Muito obrigado. Go and get a rest. We'll see you for the game against Zamalek, of course, which we're looking forward to big time. Obrigado and boa noite.
I appreciate you guys.